I'm Tom Layson, and this is a Northwest Now Digital Extra. The labor movement has been on the ropes for a good half-century as court decisions and administrative rulemaking have worked hand in hand with natural corporate reluctance to take membership down to only about 10% of all the workers in the United States. Here in Washington, with a long history as a union stronghold, that number sits at about 18%. But even so, most of those are public employee unions with smaller and smaller numbers represented in the private sector. Several new labor laws went into effect this year in Washington state, and as Northwest Now contributor Steve Kiggins tells us, rideshare drivers are one of the groups that are really benefiting.
There's no question, apps like Uber and Lyft allow drivers a chance to cash in on the gig economy. Today, drivers in Washington enjoy union-led victories that address working conditions across the state.
It is amazing that we made it to this point of today, that drivers have a chance to come and raise their voice when they are fired.
Drivers Union President Peter Kuehl says drivers could find themselves out of work, in debt, and no way to appeal deactivation from the apps before the union came along.
They end up being, bankrupt, and they end up in a situation where drivers make also suicide because of that.
I mean, they are willing to step on you to just take what they want and move on.
Driver Sabran Page found himself locked out of his Uber gig for months, but he says drivers union helped him appeal deactivation, and now he's rolling again.
We're common laborers, really is what we are, and so they look out for us who have no power against a gigantic company like that. None.
Kuehl says organizing was key to winning drivers' workers' comp rights, paid sick time, and beginning January this year, Drivers Union of Washington says Lyft and Uber drivers got a big boost in pay. In Spokane, they got a 147% increase per minute and nearly 30% boost per mile. In Tacoma, drivers saw pay increase 279% each minute and more than 50% for each mile. In Bellingham, drivers are up nearly 100% per minute and saw a 14% increase for each mile. Drivers in Seattle also got boosts. They're up nearly 10% for both minute and mileage rates. Kuehl believes Drivers Union seized a moment when workers felt empowered and helped to kick off a new wave of organizing.
Now, Amazon and Starbucks are raising up, with the good thing, for the employee there. And we did study. We're so proud of ourselves here.
In Tukwila, Steve Kiggins, Northwest Now.
To see our full discussion with the new president of the Washington State Labor Council, be sure to look in the Northwest Now digital section of kbtc.org. Northwest Now airs Friday nights at 7:30 right here on KBTC. And be sure to look for more digital stories like this one by following us on Facebook and Twitter at Northwest Now.